So moving back to continuing our UV unwrap, I actually want to select some of these pieces here. So this piece looks like it go towards this ear. And right now the main thing I'm concerned with is it's kind of like a big jigsaw puzzle. I'm just trying to put this puzzle, or any type of puzzle, I'm just trying to put this puzzle together. I'm seeing where the pieces seem to fit, and I'm putting them where they need to go. And as I do that, we start to see some connections, we start to see some patterns. Increase the size of this here. Yeah, I'm not going to put these ears in yet. I'll actually connect them up, and then I'll drop them in once we finish with them. So what I mean by that is I'm going to come into this ear here, and I'm going to look at what I could put inside of it first. And you'll see that I have some options here, and I'll just start dragging them, dropping them. So one thing you notice is that if I'm trying to overlap them and I'm in this first quadrant here, it's not going to work. Drag it out of the first quadrant. It's simply because you're not supposed to overlap UVs, but we're just doing this temporarily until we stitch them, sew them together, put them together, take down the brush size, optimize them. There we go. Continue the workflow. This goes here. And so one thing that's really going to make a difference in this workflow is if something doesn't look right. So we were trying to put that ear in and it wasn't looking right. Now this is most likely because we want to make sure we get all the edges that are going to connect to that object before we try to connect it. Or when we start optimizing it, it's going to start distorting and bending in weird ways. Because remember, basically what we're doing is we have to redefine a 2D mapping for our 2D texture to be wrapped onto that 3D object. All that information right now is lost to Maya, right? It's split up in a certain way, but by us UV mapping, we're making it easier for ourselves to texture, and we're giving Maya, sort of an understanding of the connection between these objects. And you notice this shape, like it really fits in well with the shape we're working with here. So it starts to become a little bit easier when you start recognizing which shape fits where. Like I said, it's just basically a big puzzle is what it is. And I just want to stitch those together. We may or may not be missing one or two more little details. So how we're going to do this is we're just going to jump around here, and it looks like we still need this. Right? Sew that in there. So there's the majority of one of our ears, and now sort of jump in and do the same thing. Look around for what fits where. This looks like it fits there. So I'll fit that there. I want to jump back in and take this UV. Sew that together. Optimize it. Now I'll zoom in here just so you guys can see. I apologize if the view wasn't as if you weren't able to see us clearly. I'll actually make this full screen. So now you should be able to see it a lot clearer. And as you'll see, I'm just maneuvering. I'm using obviously the W, E. I haven't used the R key yet to scale, but you could do that too. Another option would be to scale this UV up. And then we could scale it back down and then optimize it. And, we could go with that workflow. But right now, I'm just, I'm content with just doing it this way. I don't want to mess around too much with the scaling of the UVs, and I don't want to distort something. So I kind of just want to stick with this for now. Okay, so now as you'll see, I have my two ears basically completed. There may be a piece or two missing from there. Let's take a look as to what we could add here. And you'll see that this now could be stitched to the ear. We'll do that, and then we'll optimize it a little bit. Come over here. And we'll sew this here. Optimize it. And in the next tutorial, we should be able to finish up the head.